Well, we have quite the fun collab today and a video full of surprises as well. Hello everyone and welcome back to Wolfpack Wednesday number 12. I am so excited to see you all and to be doing this fun video. Dana from Better Mood Board Games, if you're not following her already, her account is all about lifting and uplifting your spirits while playing board games. It is amazing. If you're not following her, please do, because she makes some really fun content. She's a photographer as well. Believe me, all of her content is freaking beautiful, and she put together all of these posts and stories and this video together, compiling a Q&A sesh that I'm going to be answering right now. Let's get to it. That's some really strong coffee. Wow. Question number 1 comes from Ameritrash Talk. May, I hope you are having a wonderful day. She says, this is a collab we have all been waiting for. Tell me about it. I've been dying to do this Q&A video for so long, and I'm so excited to be doing this. Question number 1, what game do you think deserves a reprint with updated production? This could be a rules changes or just new frosting. You know what, since we're having this one-on-one talk, let me be dead honest. Most of my games, they have production value checked off the list because that's like one thing that I really love. Obviously, gameplay is going to take precedence over that, but most of my games like have production value and gameplay as well. So off the top of my mind, the only one that I can think of right now is Agricola. And I know they came out with like an Agricola 15 and I haven't picked it up yet because I know like they're missing expansions in it and it wasn't like the full value of what a lot of people in the community were voicing to. So because of that, I didn't pick it up. I do want to pick up like a better version of Agricola because I know the first one, super fun, but they were like little like cardboard chits or like little discs. It's a classic, super fun, but definitely could take an updated production value to that. Other than Agricola, I can't really think of any other game off the top of my mind because I know a ton of games already have that increase in production value. Monopoly 1,000 times, Catan 1,000 times, a lot of the classics. Seven Wonders doesn't really need an update. So yeah, I think Agricola is the first one and the only one right now that I can think of. I can't believe I just said the M word on this channel. Just kidding. Okay, number 2, if you could do a celebrity board game lifestyle shoot, which celebrities would you want there getting their game on and what are they playing? That is such a fun question, May. Okay, hear me out here. I would love to have some of the cast from Lord of the Rings do like a Lord of the Rings themed game, like Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, the 4 of them playing some Lord of the Rings game. Done. I honestly would probably pass out before I even start hit recording. That would be so fun. Can you imagine? And honestly, I would want Benedict in like a dragon onesie to represent Smaug. Another one that would be an absolute dream, Steam Up. Okay, a board game lifestyle shoot of Steam Up with the cast of Crazy Rich Asians, Michelle Yeoh, Constance Wu, Awkwafina, Gemma Chan. Oh my God, that would be such a fun shoot. Can you imagine? Man, that's a really fun question. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to do that shoot at all. I would just be starstruck and like passed out the entire time before I can even turn on my camera. Okay, moving on to question number 2. This is from Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer. Hello, friends. Amy Maggie says, love your work as always, Dana, and this collab is everything. We adore Tim and would love to know where he draws creative inspiration from outside the hobby and what his dream is for content creation is in the future. Also, can you give us some of his spare talent, please? Don't be greedy, Tim. Thanks so much. Love you two both. Amy, Maggie, if you're watching this, you two are the absolute best. My hands are now shaking because of all your compliments. But I hope I can see you two at Gen Con and we can finally get a game together. That's not Marvel Dice Throne. Okay, so first question was, where do I get creative inspiration from outside the hobby? You know, this one actually is something that I go to every single day, and that is other travel filmmakers. Brandon Lee and Aiden Robbins are like the 2 that come off to the top of my head right now. They have like the best storytelling. They have some of the most insane and wild transitions, and getting to know their work and seeing how they film and how they take like a huge scale of things and kind of, you know, distill it down to when they're just at a home office too. Like a lot of the animations and just the sources of inspiration I draw from those 2. Aside from Peter McKinnon, who I talk about all the time too, but those 2 right now are like my biggest sources of inspiration that I utilize too for board games. And then the second question is, what is the dream for content creation in the future? Well, for the future, I'm absolutely, of course, fortunate to even have a space this big now, going from like a small little wall to like a little bigger wall to now I have like a home studio. But I would love to have like the dream YouTube studio where I have a team like there all the time, where they have their own office spaces, a space so big where we can have multiple gaming tables where we can work and play and just have like a set that I have all the time there that's designed for lifestyle shoots instead of us having to rent out venues. That would be the ultimate dream. Bottom line, I want like one full-on designated space where we can have just a whole bunch of areas to work with, office spaces, gaming tables, just a space where I can self-sufficiently run the channel on its own without having to depend on the sciences as part-time work. So that right there is my dream for content creation. It's having a space where we can collaborate, where we can play games, where we can have sets there already to go, and where we can have a bunch of gaming nights too. That right there would be the dream and what I'm working towards. Okay, very, very long-winded question. Sorry for that, but I get very inspired when I'm thinking about my future dreams. Okay, moving on to question number 3 from the Real Dad 67. Mark, so good to see you. Thank you so much for watching all my videos all the time. He says, Bonds took my initial question, so I had to think a little bit more. We'll get to Bonds in a second. Question is, you have time for one more game, and your choice is Dwellings of Eldervale or Andromeda's Edge. What game will you end the night with? Oh, that's such a good question. Mark, you might have hit me with the most difficult question that I'm not prepared to answer yet, but I will give you an answer right now. If I had to pick one more game between those two, currently, I would probably end the night with Dwellings of Eldervale. And the reason why is because my prototype form of Andromeda's Edge wasn't fully fleshed out yet. There were only one set of raiders. And you saw from the Kickstarter or from the GameFound campaign that there were a ton of different factions involved. The Wolfpack faction I don't have available yet. So if all of those were included, then I would play Andromeda's Edge. If we're talking about the prototype form, then I would go with Dwellings. So that's my answer with that. And I can't wait for Andromeda's Edge, as apparent as that is. Next question is from Borden Shield Z. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing good. He says, love to see it. What inspired you to capture board games in a cinematic light? Do you feel as if your tastes in games changed as you progressed with your career and love for the hobby? Oh, 100%. I think, okay, let me answer the second question first. My taste for sure has changed a lot since I first started playing. I feel like when I first played, the only thing that I saw was cool looking minis and really fun components in a game. So that's why I think a ton of my initial collection was very, very baseline stuff, not enough content or gameplay to keep me satisfied. So that collection is nearly gone by now in terms of like the pretty looking stuff without actual content or the meat. Right now, I feel like my taste is super, super close with Monique and Naveen. I feel like every game that they've played and that they've enjoyed, I've really enjoyed too. Like the really dry Euros, I've really grown to love those a lot. And I would definitely be covering more of those if they weren't so heavy to cover, heavy to like begin filming. So like Lisboa, I'm working on, but I want to make sure I do like a really, really good job on that. So that's why I feel like my current taste hasn't been fully reflected upon the channel just quite yet. But still, like overall, all the games I cover, all things that I love. And the first question is, what inspired you to start capturing board games in a cinematic light? I love this question. Look, I watched a ton of my favorite channels, Dice Tower, Rodney from Watch It Played, Board Game Geek, you know, and aside from that, like there were a ton of videos that weren't covered at that time. And of course, not to downplay all of my favorite channels and stuff too, but a lot of the games that I wanted to see weren't covered in a way that really presented the game that I wanted to see it. Like these games are so fun. I say all the time, these games are so fun and they can be presented so much better in a way that it grabs a bigger audience and makes people want to play because they're so cool. And I want everyone to enjoy that experience. So just the lack of that production value was what really got me inspired into turning on my camera. Thanks so much for your question, Z. Next one is from Board Game Dave. So many good questions already, but here's perhaps a self-serving one. What does he recommend as the most important upgrade for someone who's been doing the YouTube thing for quite a while, has a decent camera, mic, recording software, etc.? Can't wait for this interview, Dana. Dave, thank you so much for your question. This is a fun question, Dave. Let me approach this from the marketing standpoint and from like a content creation standpoint, kind of a little bit of both. From a marketing standpoint, I think the most important thing you can upgrade is your website. Because if you think about it, the website is going to allow you to showcase your portfolio and work with different publishers. Board games in general is not a consumable. And what I mean by that is it's not something that we necessarily need to survive, right? We need food, water, etc. Those are like the essentials. So probably essentials is probably like a better way to phrase this. It's a luxury service, what we're providing. Board games in general is a luxury service, and content creation for board games is also a luxury service. When we are filming and when we're photographing, people don't need this to survive. So all that to say that having a website and being able to showcase your portfolio in a way that is marketing towards that is probably the most important thing for me that I see in order for you to be able to work with different publishers and be able to captivate your audience. Because let's think about it. Anyone nowadays can literally use their phone and produce 4K quality images, video. So why do publishers come to us, right? Reason why is because we are offering something that isn't being able to be fully captured on a phone, or else they would do it themselves. So the most important upgrade for me, I would say, is the website, because the website, it allows you to showcase what your brand is all about, the reasons that what you're offering is important, and why people should book your service. And then in terms of content creation, again, if you're saying you already have all the gear and software, whatever that you need, then I say the best thing to do now is to just be yourself on camera. It took me a while to be like fully comfortable and fully like myself on camera. I feel like I'm very comfortable now to the camera, like 100% authentic and stuff now. But I feel like before I would always need like a script. I would always need like a way for me to be guided towards a video. And I think that's like the best thing that you can do to upgrade your content, which is just being more comfortable on camera and being more casual too, because like short form content, TikTok, Instagram Reels, like the trend right now is just going towards relatability and just being authentic. So that's probably the best upgrade you can make for yourself. Having a website in terms of marketing and just being more comfortable on camera. So those are my 2 cents on that, Dave. And I hope that helps in some way. Okay, next question is from Carly from Board Game Buzz. Carly, how's it going? What was his favorite game to make a video from? And what is his camera and favorite lens to use? Yes, I love gear questions. First off, favorite game to make a video from, Frosthaven immediately is the one that comes to mind. Reason why is because, well, Frosthaven, literally one of the biggest board games. And having that pressure being put on me, I felt like really pushed my creativity to limits and being able to deliver like a new standard of quality. So I think I love being able to get pushed with a ton of pressure. That way it like kind of pushes me to learn a lot more and to provide like excellent level content. So that was definitely my favorite game to film as of recent. And then favorite camera and favorite lens to use. The R5, favorite camera, hands down, for photo and video. It serves every single need that I have. It shoots in 4K, shoots in 4K 120. It's portable, it's small. The pricing isn't too bad compared to other high-end cameras. And also it's like $1,000 off now too. And because they're coming out with like a brand new model, whatever. But it has been my absolute staple of a camera, and I don't see myself changing from the R5 to anything else anytime soon. Favorite lens, 28-70. I've shot entire wedding days on that, and for board games, I don't ever make a video without that lens. So that's my favorite setup to use right now. Thanks so much, Carly, for your question. Love it. Next one is from Dana herself from Better Move Board Games. She says, I'm here for the would you rather questions. Think anyone is going to throw out something crazy like, would you rather have Cheetos for fingers or sweet mayo? Okay, I don't even like mayo, so automatically I'd rather have Cheetos. That way I can just eat my own fingers. And the comment after that from Java Meeples and Lenses says, if I chose that for myself, can they at least regrow daily? Okay, if they can regrow, then yes, I would choose Cheetos, but I probably wouldn't choose sweet mayo in general because I just don't like mayo. And I honestly have a really bad daily addiction to chips, so I eat Cheetos all the time. So that would be my question for that, Data. Next one is from Bonds. What is your favorite faction in Dwellings of Eldervale and why? That is the Cult of the Night Queen, Bonds. By far. Reason why is because they can summon dragons and wizards and warriors immediately. Not immediately, but like within like the first couple of turns of the game before there's even peaceful beginnings. And I just love the look on people's faces when they see that they have to start fighting right away with a dragon and a wizard and a warrior on the board. It's the funniest reaction. That's why I love playing with the Cult of the Night Queen. They're so OP. Next question comes from Gamers Rush. I love the idea. Can't wait. Here's my question. How do you imagine each shot before taking it? Is there a previous inspiration process for each shoot? Yes. Thank you so much for your question. There's always inspiration for each shoot. Before I even go on set, I always have a mood board for me and my team. That way they know exactly what to expect, and they know the theme of the game, and they know like specific nuances that affect the photo shoot. So I always have a mood board, and I always have like a color palette, and I always have some sources of inspiration for like video transitions too that I incorporate for each commercial. So absolutely. Next one is from a board gamer 1. Tom, how you doing? For more elaborate shoots with people, do you have a storyboard or a script? Actually, this is perfect timing with the last question too. I always have a script by far every time I'm working with people. Reason why is because if I'm filming alone, I don't have any kind of script really. Maybe I have some notes here and there, but I usually don't have any kind of storyboard script. I kind of just go with it because I have all the time in the world to just experiment and play around. But with people, you have a couple hours and you got to make sure you have everything done by then. So every minute, every hour extra that you spend is extra money, and a lot. I'm talking about like thousands of dollars extra. So that's why I never go into a lifestyle shoot unplanned, because it is very, very costly. Thanks so much for that question, Tom. Next one is from Ashley Littlefield. What is his dream board game day? In this hypothetical situation, magically, he would have the best amount of players for every game. Ashley, thank you so much for your question. That is a really, really fun one. A dream day. Okay, I don't know the specific order, but here are the games that I would play immediately as of right now. Heat, Aquatica, Red Rising, probably like the lighter games. And then I would get like Oathsworn in. Oh my God, a whole campaign with like 4 people with Oathsworn would be freaking amazing. Oathsworn, Dwellings of Eldervale, of course, Andromeda's Edge, if we can play that back to back. Steam Up. That's probably a pretty long board game day, and that's the immediate games I would go to. Oh, Blood Rage 2. Definitely fit in Blood Rage in there. So those are like the several games that we would definitely get played in a board game dream day. Very, very rare, and I highly doubt that would ever happen, but that's something that I would be immediately ecstatic about. Okay, next question comes from Point Masters. This is so dope. Thank you. I'm glad you're watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed my answer to your question right now, which is, where do you see yourself as a content creator 5 years from now? 5 years, I hope I would have a designated team to answer emails. I hate answering emails. I'm sorry. If I ever don't answer your email, I'm sorry. We have like a ton of inquiries all the time, and I try my best to get to every single one. But I really want somebody to like, I think the first position I would love to have to help manage the channel is like a social media manager, because social media is a lot. It's really a lot. And I really want to focus on like filming games and playing them. Social media takes me away from that. So social media manager is definitely one of the first things I would have. I do have a second and third photographer that we have during like the big shoots. So, but having like a designated one to like film all the time daily, that'd be great. And yeah, going back to like Amy Maggie's question too, I would hopefully have a designated studio space where we can do all of these fun things at once. So to answer your question, Point Masters, 5 years from now, I hope I have a team and a space to film all this stuff all the time. Next question comes from Java Meeples and Lenses. Do I have any tips for introverts and coming out of their shells to create similar content to his? Yes, actually I do. Because I actually didn't used to show my face on camera at all. It's weird, right? It's weird hitting like the record button and just like talking to a lens and assuming there's somebody else on the other side. It's a really weird and hard thing to kind of get over. And in the beginning of my channel, actually the first like, I don't know, however many so videos, I didn't show my face at all because of your very question. I still am pretty introverted, I would say. I just have my moments when I like turn it on and I can be social with people. But my biggest tip for this is to just have a camera. It could be your phone. Like I said, doesn't matter what it is. Have a camera like straight across from you and just talk to the camera. You don't have to upload it. You don't have to do anything to it. Just talk to the camera and see how it feels. Watch it back, see if it makes you comfortable or uncomfortable, and see what will make you more comfortable. And then you kind of just ease that process until you're ready to just hit upload. So that right there is my biggest tip for creating content for introverts, as someone who is very, very introverted himself. Next question comes from Dana Hayward. What started you on the path of taking board game lifestyle photos? Okay, that's a really fun one because it's a little different from the past couple ones. So for lifestyle specifically, I wanted a way to upgrade the types of photos I was taking, something that was more practical from like a marketing standpoint too, because I started off with like creative board game photos, and then that moved into product photos because I'm like, I want to be able to monetize this content some way. Product photos were the next step from that. And then the third step was like, how can I step this up and have something that is improved in quality, a way for me to also not just be in the dark in my studio space shooting products. Like I want to have more people involved too. So that's why I say I'm like a little bit of both intro and extroverted. And that's what led to lifestyle photos, because I then started to just take pictures of like my hand, like holding cards and components. And then I keep asking myself this question all the time, every time I'm making content, which is how can I make this better? Well, the only way I can make that better instead of showing just hands is to incorporate people. And that's why I started incorporating a whole diverse cast. And that's where we're at right now. What is the best, or what are the best and worst parts of content creation? Best part, hands down, is talking to you all, the community. I absolutely love the Wolfpack. I love talking to people on like all the stuff that we're interested in. I love seeing the reactions of everyone when I have like these really big scale fun projects to share. That right there is my absolute favorite part of content creation. The worst part is the complete opposite end to that. Like I always take any kind of critical, constructive feedback from my channel. I'm always open to that stuff. But when the comment is like full on hostile, when it's just unserving to anybody and it just sucks, when it's like, did you really just take time to make that comment? That's probably the worst part about content creation, which is like the negative side of it. Like just people being full on weird and hostile for no reason when we're talking about board games here, which we should be celebrating. So that's probably the worst part of content creation. And there's a whole area of that I try to avoid because it really saps my creativity. So Dana, thank you so much for your question. Absolutely loved it. We'll focus on the positive for sure. It is having fun with the community, talking about the stuff that we all enjoy. I think this is the last question. Comes from Chris9620. I love Tim's content. Chris, thank you so much. I was just talking about this earlier with Dana Hayward, and now you just reinforced the point of why I love doing this so much. Especially his work with Bonds. Me too. I love having Bonds on the channel. She's so much freaking fun to work with. Let me tell you now, Bonds brings a whole nother creative perspective to when we film content. And I can't wait to show you some more BTS of that when we show you some BTS of Bantam West. Okay, number one, what's the piece of content or work that you are most proud of creating? Fire and Ice Awards last year. Absolute most proud of. I think that was definitely my biggest vision currently, aside from Bantam West, and just getting all these content creators to celebrate the hobby and have this award ceremony. That was my vision. It definitely wasn't like my full vision. I feel like that right there is like just a taste of what I want to do and what I can do. But we are thinking about some plans for this year. Hopefully it does work out again, but funding is going to be a big issue for that. So we'll see. And either way, Fire and Ice is going to continue. When it's going to continue, I don't know yet, but I would love to do a part 2. And hopefully it will be this year. Okay, number 2. Similarly, have you created something you thought would be huge and for whatever reason, it didn't get the response that you were expecting? That's a really good question too. I would say a lot of my cinematics, usually on YouTube, don't get like the biggest videos sometimes. It depends on like the game and when the video is released too. But usually the videos that I put like a ton of hours of work in may not get like the biggest amount of traction, especially if it's not like crowdfunding. That's why I kind of stopped doing the cinematic videos paired with reviews, because usually people are watching for like the core ideas and the reasons why I like or don't like a game. I think my videos do really well when it comes to like crowdfunding previews and stuff, because then everyone's like hyped about the game itself, and that's why those do really well and why I continue to do those. But it's kind of funny because usually like my really casual content where I'm just vlogging and just having a fun conversation, all of those videos do really well compared to my cinematic stuff. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Bottom line, it's all a fun part of the process. If traction was the one thing I was going for in this space, I probably would have quit a long time ago. And I just make stuff without expecting anything. That way I don't feel disappointed, and that way that doesn't sap my creativity as well. So I just make stuff to make stuff. Hopefully people enjoy it. If they do, that's awesome. I will keep creating. If not, I just keep going. So that's my answer to that question. Number 3, favorite collaboration or favorite collaborators. Everyone from Fire and Ice has to be my favorite collaboration by far. Like everyone on screen that you see there is people that I like. They're all my friends. They're all people that we all talk to all the time. We have very, very good chemistry, on-screen chemistry, off-screen chemistry, and those right there are my favorite collaborators. So that's why we wanted to make that project together. And that right there is a wrap for the Q&A session. Once again, Dana, thank you so much for putting all this together. Really appreciate all the time and work that you put into putting all that together for the video and the post and everything. And thank you to everyone who asked a question today. That was such a fun series of questions to answer. Got my brain thinking too a lot. I hope you all enjoyed that Q&A session. And oh, wait a minute. There is one more thing that I need to tell you about. Something really fun to celebrate on the channel today. Well, today we are celebrating 25,000 subscribers. We're also celebrating 2 million views. 2 huge milestones I never thought in a million years I would reach on this channel. And we reached it today. So to celebrate this next achievement, I thought it would be fun to give away one tiny little game. Mark, if you're watching this video, you know exactly what title is about to drop right now. Oh, what is this doing on the Rascal's gaming table right now? Is this a shrink-wrapped legendary OG edition of Dwellings of Eldervale in shrink? I said that already. And also, what is a Minotaur expansion and card sleeves also doing here, along with this beauty right here? Maybe one of the best games of all time. Giving away a legendary edition of Dwellings of Eldervale to anywhere I can ship it off to. If I, for some reason, can't ship it to your region, this is open worldwide, by the way. If for some reason I can't ship it to you, then I'll send over a gift card worth the original price of the game. Like I said, it's open to everyone worldwide. Hopefully I can ship this out to you. There is one little ding or dent right here, but that's just the nature of shipping. So sorry about that, but still, it's a legendary copy. It's very, very hard to find a game. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the community. Wolfpack, you are the absolute best community I could ever ask for. And it was because of you that I reached this crazy, crazy milestone. So 25K subs, 2 million views, numbers that are unreal. So this is a thank you for that. All you have to do to get a chance at winning this epic game is make sure you're subscribed to the channel and tell me in the comments below what puts you in a better mood for playing board games. That right there is because of Dana and celebrating the mission of her Instagram. Please make sure you also check out her Instagram and follow her there as well. It will brighten her day, trust me. And yeah, thank you to Dana. Thank you to everyone in the Wolfpack. And I am so excited to give this game away. Last thing, I'm gonna open all entries for 7 days, for a week from today's video's upload. And the day after, I'm gonna go ahead and pin a comment from this video and I will announce this on my Instagram. So make sure you check Instagram because I feel like not many people are able to see like a full-on YouTube video just announcing the winner. So Instagram is probably the easiest way. And I'm also gonna pin your comment and heart your comment, which only I can do, okay? So make sure it's not spam. I'm not gonna contact you and ask you to pay me some weird amount of money. So make sure you check spam and stuff. It's not gonna be me unless I pin and heart your comment. And I'll also post it on Instagram as well. Okay, subscribe and tell me what puts you in a better mood for playing board games. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching and I will see you all very, very soon.